Welcome everyone to this episode of Conquer the Chaos. I'm your host, Clate Mask, co-founder and CEO of Keep. And I'm really excited because today I've got a longtime friend, somebody I have a lot of respect for, that's joined us for this episode of the podcast. So help me welcome Piyush Parikh.
Hey, thanks so much, Clay. It's so great to be here. Really honored to be on your podcast.
It's so great to have you with us. Gosh, you and I have known each other for over a decade at this point.
Yeah, wow.
I remember talking with you at a conference, and you're like, "Hey, can I just get a little advice for a second?" And I remember we talked about something there that is actually I talk about it in the book a lot. It's, I believe, one of the biggest issues for entrepreneurs. And do you remember what you asked me that day when we were together? And you're like, "Hey, I'm looking for some advice on where to where do I go next in the business? What should I be doing?"
Yeah.
And you shared with me later that was really helpful in helping you to conquer the chaos and get to a better place. So maybe just share a little bit of that and what happened. I think that'd be great.
Super. Thanks so much, Clay. So I remember that clearly. In fact, it was at an event and you were on stage and they said, if you give Mentors International a donation, you get to spend some time with Clate.
Yes.
And I ran back and I said, yes, I'd like some time. And I think it was 1 hour with you. Uh-huh. And I said, Clate, can I do like 25-minute sessions? And you're like, no, you can't do that. You must do one. All right. So that's fine. So I do remember at that point, we were just getting started. Yeah. I had just gotten into the Keep community. Marketing automation was kind of natural to me. Automation was natural to me. My background's engineering, so I was kind of familiar with that, but not marketing automation, which was new. And then I said, well, every company needs it, so I'm going to sell this to any company and every company that needs marketing automation. Uh-huh. And I said, Clate, I've done this now. I've been trying this for the last, I think it was maybe 16 months or so.
Yeah, I did about a year or two, if I remember right.
It's fine. It goes in roller coasters. Like I go to a few and then I have to service them. And then now I have to go sell. I forgot to sell and I got to service them again. And so, and a lot of others had the similar kind of background. I said, Clate, what do I need to do? And he said, you need focus. And I said, focus, sure. What do I focus on? And you said, focus on one type of customer. Mm-hmm. Do this one or two campaigns. Create one or two campaigns that work for one industry. Yep. And do that about 5 or 6 times to different companies. Mm-hmm. And after 6 months, come back and show me how it is. And that should make a difference. Mm-hmm. And I followed that. And it took me not 6 months. It took me 18 or 24 months to get to that level. But I finally got there. I said, all right, I'm going to pick a niche. It's a niche. Mm-hmm. And so, it was chaos before. I think that's kind of why, the book, and it's all about chaos. Mm-hmm. It was chaos before, doing anything for everybody. Yep. Came down and found 2 campaigns that worked for the real estate industry. Mm-hmm. I knew nothing about real estate, but I partnered with someone who did. And he said, he'll get the clients if he can service them. Mm-hmm. And here are the campaigns that we need. So I built them out and that did it. I mean, really, it was just focusing my attention on a couple of campaigns that worked. And that went from, getting 5 to 6 to 7,000 a month to 20, 30, 40,000 a month.
Love it.
I mean, it didn't take 6 months, but it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. And it does take, I've shared this many times, it takes about 3 years to get the business rolling. Yeah. And it usually is because it takes a while for people to find their niche. Yeah. And so I always tell people, if you can just push to find your niche quicker, you're going to shorten that period of time where you're, but it's so hard to say no to the business that you get. And so, I tell people all the time, look, a client in the same niche is worth 5 to 10 times as a client outside the niche because you get so much more learning. Yeah. You start to be able to charge more. So you guys did that. You got in your niche, you got a couple of campaigns that worked, you stuck to that, started to produce, and I love hearing the growth of the business as a result.
And that was good, but again, there's waves to that.
Yeah, so, it didn't just all of a sudden get all better, right?
No, and it didn't always last that long, right? The campaigns don't work all the time. Right. I mean, you have to keep tweaking them. Right. You have to find another niche if that doesn't work. Right. What's interesting is I took a meandering approach to getting where I am now. Yeah. I started as an engineer. I'm a chemical engineer. That's what I learned. And then in engineering, everything is pretty structured. Making an error is not. It's within tolerance levels. Yes. I worked at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and they're like, if there's a plant meltdown, you got a 1 in a million chance if that happens, and you got to model everything to that tolerance level. And then I come to marketing. And you're telling me that one, blast should work out of 10,000 or 5,000 that just didn't sit.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting how if you do find that thing in marketing, that's probably why Infusionsoft started with marketing automation.
Yeah.
And it had picked up so well. And that's why when I saw that, I saw the perfect customer life cycle is what you called it earlier. And that resonated with me a lot.
Yeah.
But it has been a ride even since. I mean, I did that. I got the niche. That niche kind of went away. I found another niche. Right now, it ends up that we are in customer support. And we worked with Keep as our first client to do all of your support.
Yep.
We've grown since then.
Yep.
And even that has been a nice roller coaster.
Yep.
And so it's been...
Thank you, COVID, and everything else. Right.
No, but that's why I liked your book that just came out. I read it multiple times over, at least the bookmarks that I made.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's been really good. The chaos is there. It's just what level of chaos it is what I'm finding out.
Yeah.
And there's the balance. And so I've got the personal side. I've got a son, and he's 9. We're trying to get him doing all these fun things with him.
Of course.
And then I've got, you got 6, which is a whole different story. But that's a level of chaos I don't know. But, I have some there. And then I have the business chaos that goes up and down. The mindset is one thing that I connected with most.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because I do want to come to mindset. Let me just tie off one thing on the business. You found your niche. You were able to command much higher prices, greater revenue. The word of mouth starts to spread, so you get within a niche. So you get your marketing gets a lot easier because people are telling you, because they're telling their friends that are in the same niche. So you got that benefit. Then you found there were different, you needed to find a new niche when one wasn't working out as well, or maybe that partnership didn't go as well. Yeah. And so you kind of moved to different things. Your business has been very successful. Like if someone I know your business, and if someone looked at it from the outside, they'd be like, hey, that was just great. Yeah, you found your niche and then everything got better. Yeah. I'd love for you to take just a second as we talk about mindset to help listeners understand the way that you mentally deal with those ups and downs in the roller coaster, because most people, one of the biggest fallacies I think in entrepreneurship is that you get to a point, and then once you get to that point, then everything's great. And I do believe there's a certain survival point, and it tends to be that about 3 years where you kind of get to that point. But it's not like everything's just smooth sailing from there. Yeah. So and a lot of times I tell entrepreneurs when they're in that mode and they think, they've got themselves thinking it's going to be just smooth sailing once they get to a certain point. I'm like, listen, entrepreneurship's amazing because it's like mountain climbing. There's always a new peak. There's always a new thing. There's always new challenges, ups and downs. So I'd love to hear, in terms of mindset, which, we talk about as the number one key to success for entrepreneurs in the book, is what helps you to go from, peak to valley to peak to valley to peak to valley, and not lose the energy, the momentum, the excitement to keep going.
That's great. Yeah, and I think a lot of it actually I've learned from Infusionsoft. Your story on keep going, I think that encapsulates it, which is there are these peaks, you go up and there's a lot more valleys, and you come down, you lose something, you lose a big client, and you have to find something else. You worked 2 years to make this happen, and then your wife says this is not going to work,
right? And
I'm like, it's almost there. The things that have kept me going, there's many times when I wanted to, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
This is not worth it. Can I just do something else or do nothing or just keep biking? And I think the things that worked for me are my support team, and as in my support community, and just it's a small community, but it's my wife, obviously. She's like similar to yours, just, what's wrong? This looks easy enough. What's wrong? Why are you thinking so much about it?
Right.
It's just, look how successful you've been in the past.
Yeah.
Like, keep going, do it. I have a business partner, Ashwin, and you met him, and he's vital and critical as well.
Yeah.
He helps me. I help him, he helps me. Yeah. It's like when he's down, he's like, should we shut this down? No.
Right.
Come on, we have 120 people now.
Right.
And I can't let go of that. So most recently, it has been the team and the company. We've scaled it up to 120. It's a great team.
Yeah.
And every one of them, my goal is to get them all to be whatever they want to be, their dreams. And just like you had done it for Keep and for employees here, it's how do we get to your dream and how can this place help you get there?
Yeah.
And anytime I feel that I'm not going to make this work, I think of those guys.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things, there's two things in there you're saying that really resonate with me. One of the things I've said so many times over the years is that entrepreneurship is amazing because it's a lab for life.
Yeah.
You're working on life. You can't help as an entrepreneur but try to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing you say is that you like doing that with your people, and you find satisfaction and joy in that when your employees, your people are able to be their best selves, work on getting better and better. And then the other thing I'm hearing you say is you get inspired by them and what they're able to do. And I've had that experience many times. There have been times where I'm frustrated about something, and then I see an employee who has solved a problem or has created some kind of innovation that we've been thinking about for years of doing. And and the person does it. I'm like, hey, that is awesome. Yeah. Like, it's so fun to be inspired by your people. Yeah. So I love that. And, kudos to you for having 120 people who have a job and are able to have, provide for their families and work on being their best selves because of what you've created. So I think that's fantastic. The other thing about the mindset that's a little bit tricky when we're going up and through those ups and downs is Dan Sullivan talks about the gap and the gain. And I think this is a very common thing for entrepreneurs. Anybody that's got a lot of ambition has a goal they're trying to get to, and they're looking at that goal and they're looking at where they are, and there's a gap, and they measure themselves in terms of that gap. And it actually becomes very destructive because you start to feel discouraged anytime that you don't measure up to that goal that you set. Whereas, and by the way, I'm a big believer in goal setting, as you know. It's all over in the book. I talk about this all the time. But I have no problem setting a goal that I get really excited about, but falling a little bit short. I'm okay with that. I'm not like, I don't love it, of course. I would rather hit the goal. But what I find in a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment is the other side of what Dan teaches. The gap theory is what I just described, measuring ourselves against that goal, and the shortfall. The gain approach is we measure ourselves from where we were when we started and where we are now.
Okay.
And so we see when we do that, then we see growth, we see progress. And as you know, I talk about in the book all the time, the whole point of entrepreneurship is progress. It's progress, not perfection. That's what we're after. And, we get so ingrained to think that practice makes perfect. And that's,
no,
I'm telling you right now, that's a killer. No. Practice makes progress. Yeah. That's what we're after. And that's the gain.
Yeah. And I like that. I mean, one of the things that I've been blessed with, another mentor of mine or coach is Lane Knighting. I don't know if you've known him. And
sure.
So he's always said the detour is the path. So we're taking the detour. That's the path.
Yeah.
But it's also enjoy the journey. That's we've been told that. It's not easy to enjoy the journey when you're down at the bottom.
Right.
You're like, what is this journey?
Right.
Get off
I
this
hate
journey.
this journey.
I don't like this journey.
Right.
But that's the part that I'm working on, and it's also how do you enjoy what you're doing?
Yeah.
Goal setting has been. I do it sometimes and I don't, but I want to do it again.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get caught up in the end on the goal. I want to enjoy what we're doing now. And then, just like you said, with the team, as long as we're all working towards progress and continually improving, I've used the same kind of, you have different core values. I've used that, brought that in from the Elite Forum and applied that. That's worked. It's magic.
Yeah.
I mean, all the people that we have right now, they grew up with us. They were the original employees.
That's amazing.
7 years ago. And they're all now running the place. So
that's so great.
Thanks to you. Thanks to Keep. We're going to keep going.
I love it. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that with me. I think that mindset, that growth mentality, looking at the gain, not the gap, recognizing that it's about progress, not perfection, and practice makes progress. That to me, I think when we get discouraged in entrepreneurship, it's really because there's our mindset isn't quite right. We're looking for perfection. We're looking for you got to hit the goal every single time. And I love goals, and I do believe that sometimes entrepreneurs can err on the side of accepting the journey instead of accepting both the journey and the reward of what we're trying to get to. And it's both of those things. You know, I think when we'd say it's all about the, you know, the win, well, that's not quite right. But it's also not quite right that it's all about the journey. Like we want the destination too. It's really good when we get to the destination. We want that.
It is.
So you know, we want both those things, and you know, give ourselves a little bit of you know, apply a little wisdom when we're getting in the downturns, understanding it's all part of the process.
There's a way out, and there's a way up.
Yeah.
And so every time sometimes they tell me there's a problem. I was like, we just haven't found the solution yet.
That's right.
There is a problem, but we haven't found the solution.
That's right.
So,
exactly.
You know,
I love it. Well, anything else you want to share about, you know, what you see in entrepreneurship in terms of how to conquer the chaos? You know, obviously we talk about the six keys to success, but you've done a lot in terms of automation. I mean, that's a big part of what you guys do.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit about how automation has, you know, I say all the time, automation is the great game changer in small business, because we're no longer trading hours for dollars. We're actually getting more hours in the day, which is right at the core of why we have small business chaos in the first place. So, you know, any tips or things you've learned as you've applied automation to conquer the chaos?
So, I mean, like I said, my background's in engineering, so automation is something that I've always looked at and tried to set up in companies for the clients that we have, you know, do consulting with and so on. What I found is it works when you have a good amount of volume.
Yeah.
And when you have volume, that means you're doing something right. If you try to automate something that doesn't have volume, it may be going the wrong way. You'll accelerate to negative sides, right? So I always like to say, is there enough volume to automate this?
Yes.
If we automate it, will it actually provide the output that we want quickly?
Right.
So I like to look at automation two ways. I know there may be some back and forth on this, but I look at automation in terms of electronic automation, like computer automation, and human automation. I know we have humans that can do a lot of things. When I'm not doing it, I'm automating it because someone else is doing it. Now, how well are they doing it? That needs to be automated. And so I have a combination of humans plus software. You know, our people do support.
Yeah.
They provide chat support for software companies.
Right.
And so they need a human touch to it. But they need to have the AI and the automation piece that helps them understand and make them better.
Yeah.
And so it's the same way in any business automation. Your email marketing and all that can be automated, but it needs to have the human touch. You have the 12 points, or you have the something in your book on how to do it well. So you need a human touch, but I always come back to, is there enough volume? Can someone else do it? And will they do it right? And if they can't, then we need to automate it through technology.
Yeah.
And so we set up the flow charts and all of that after we identify those.
Once you've got enough of a process that it's, you know, there's a proven path there, right? When you're just kind of figuring it out. Yeah. You know, I think Bill Gates was one that said, you can't automate if you don't have a process. Otherwise, you're going to
or not enough volume even. Yeah. Like when we were doing chats initially, when we started, we had maybe 100 or 200 a week, and people can do that. And then we got to 15,000 a week. That's all right, guys. Yeah, that's a big jump, big volume. We need to.
And how much are you guys? How much just for curiosity and for our listeners' sake? How much does AI complement what your support team does as they use automation?
So we have an AI, we call it deflection rate. So when we have certain things, conversations come in. So if you go into a chat and you look at a question that comes in, how many of those questions are answered by either a bot or self-serve versus a human? So we look at the human contact rate.
Yeah.
And so we've been able to look at about 25% bot deflection, 75% human.
Okay.
But we are catering to complex tools. Yeah. Like Infusionsoft, like Keep.
Right.
And we have, WebPT, a couple of others. These are highly complex CRMs that need the, you need to decipher what's happening. You need the human side. But the level 1, tier 1 stuff, 25% can be done by automation. It's growing fast.
Yeah.
And we all see it
getting smarter and smarter.
It's getting smarter. Yeah. But, I see, it's not going to go away too fast. And, our company is based on the human side of it.
Yeah.
I'll let my son worry about what happens when the AI bots take over.
Well, good stuff. You guys do great work. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time and just talking about how you've dealt with the chaos over the years. I appreciate the mindset that you take to it. I know the audience will appreciate some of the tips that you've shared here and just how to think about the ups and downs, because if we think about that the wrong way, it can kind of mess us up.
Absolutely.
It gets us wanting to quit and thinking, why are we doing this? Yeah. So I appreciate that. If people want to get to know you or Equinox better? How can they find
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn quite frequently, and you can look over there, Piyush Parikh on LinkedIn, and then equinoxagents.com is our website. That's the new niche.
Equinox Agents, that's the niche.
That's a niche.
You guys do a great job for software companies doing support for them. So well done.
Thanks so much.
Well, Piyush, thanks so much. Longtime friend. Excited to have a little time to talk with you and see the different ways that you conquer the chaos. And appreciate you supporting the book and helping to get it out there. You know, it really is something that I feel super passionate about. I poured my heart and soul into it. Really wrote the book that I wish I could have read a couple of decades ago. So I appreciate you helping to get it out. I know it'll make a difference for entrepreneurs, and glad we had a chance to catch up.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to the next decade.
I do too. All right.
Of chaos.
All right.
On conquering it.
Thanks, everybody. This has been the latest episode of Conquer the Chaos. And until we talk again, keep growing.